Welcome back to Football Moshla Podcast. We're here with a full podcast, not a short, not a small video. So much has happened this past week, another Moshla drop, and it's from us. I'm your host, Fardan Ahmed. With me, I have New York, Long Island's indoor soccer, one of the top scorers, one of the best ever. He scores every week. That's my co host, my dear friend, Adil. What's up, Adil? How was your week?
It was great. Finally, we got some soccer going indoor wise, and
Nice.
I barely scored. I'm not the top scorer. There are a bunch of other people who are top scorers right now, and they're way
That's
better
fine.
than me.
That's fine. You'll
Yeah,
get there. You'll win the golden boot of
golden
the
boot
indoor
of the season, huh?
of
Okay,
the
yeah.
season. For speaking of Golden Boot, we spoke about Messi a little
hmm
earlier. Please watch our shorts. We dropped a short very nicely for Lionel Messi. Speaking of subscription, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, because we're starting our talk today with one of the best of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. I know that Adil doesn't like that. I'm wearing his shirt today. But why are we talking about Ronaldo in the beginning? Because Ronaldo has beaten the record of being the top goal scorer in World Cup qualifying history. That yes, that's not this year's, all time. Whose record did he beat? Carlos Ruiz from Guatemala. He had 39 goals before, and Cristiano Ronaldo has surpassed him. And he's at 41, onwards and upwards. They could have qualified. They could have qualified this week, but something happened. Uh, a player
What
from
happened?
Liverpool, a player from Liverpool just as soon as Ronaldo subbed off within few minutes, Dominic Szoboszlai equalized 2-2.
So you're
And
trying to say that Ronaldo was pressing from the front, and that's why when he left, the press was gone. That's why Szoboszlai was able to score. You think Ronaldo was pressing that much?
it's not about the press. I think it's more about the presence, because his presence makes a lot of fact. Like these players, Lionel Messi, Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo, like when these players, Mbappe to some extent, when these players are on the pitch,
Hmm.
there's a certain bit of like a relaxation going on all across the team. Like, yeah, we're gonna pass the ball to him. Okay, we're gonna build it up. But when he comes off and a certain man from PSG comes on, Gonzalo Ramos, who is not bad at all, who's actually a great striker, but I think the nerves are not the same as when these players are on the pitch, the impact players.
So what happened to his presence when he was at the second time at Manchester United and when he's at Al Nassr? Neither of them actually won any silverware, and neither did.
International football and club is different. So in that case, I will, because when it comes to international football, the emotions are different. Because
Mm.
now it's like, oh, country, country, country. Oh, what's this gonna say? My mom, my girlfriend, my wife, and all of that. My media, my neighborhood. You know what I mean? But with the club, it's like a more like it's a different kind of mindset. I feel like. I mean, don't quote me on it, but it's like my mindset. I think that way the emotions are very different when it comes to international football. When it comes to World Cup qualifying.
So you're betting on Portugal to win the World Cup.
Very much so. Yes, I know that. I shouldn't be saying it. I don't want to jinx anything, but I would love for them to win the World Cup.
Ronaldo wins the World Cup on U.S. soil and retires and sticks it to Messi, basically, right?
Well, it's not about sticking anymore. I think
Oh,
Ronaldo is going to do it for his country because it's not. I don't think it's about sticking anymore. But if he does,
it's
it's going to
always
be.
about it's all about Ronaldo, his goal scoring and his trophies, not about Portugal or the club Al Nassr. It's about him. He was part of two Portuguese teams this international week, last two games. The one against, I think, he didn't score at all. Uh, so this one he scored, he was happy. The other one he didn't score, he was not happy. He was like, "Oh, but the team was trying." So I don't like that mentality about him.
Hmm,
But yeah,
hmm.
he's a goal scorer. Good for him, 41 goals. But
I'll give you that
these,
pointer. That's actually it matters a lot. I mean, no matter on and off the pitch, where you're on the bench or not, the intensity should not go away like that. Like the happiness in your face matters a lot. For someone of that who has that kind of aura, you need to
yeah,
have that throughout the
it's
game.
contagious. It's contagious. So you should not be sulking like that if you cannot score. And it's not like you didn't have the chances. You had the chances. You didn't score. But anyways, he scored. He redeemed himself to an extent. Because these international breaks for Portugal for him has been all about him scoring and trying to go to this 1,000 goals for club and country record, right? So That's the reason he's not retiring. That's the reason he went to Saudi to just keep on scoring. That's basically it. But if he wins the World Cup with Portugal, yes, he goes to a different level.
Yes,
Um,
he will level up instantly, and he'll
yeah, it
become
goes
a
to a different
legend,
level.
a true legend.
Yeah, then the conversation about the other Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, winning the World Cup better than him, and vice like blah blah blah, will die down quite a bit because he will cement his legacy properly if he wins the World Cup with Portugal in 2026.
Definitely,
Now,
and just like Portugal, we have to talk about another country
mm,
that's on the brink of missing out on the World Cup.
yes,
Which country is that?
Sweden, Alexander Isak, Gyökeres, John Dahl Tomasson, their coach has been fired or sacked, and now there's been talk that your favorite Graham Potter is in line to replace uh, the outgoing John Dahl Tomasson. He's a Danish coach, I think.
Yeah, and
Um,
I remember him scoring in the 2002 World Cup.
yes, and he's to play on the right wing, I think, right mid. I've seen him play, but it was very weird that he was appointed as a Swedish coach. Usually
Hmm.
from Denmark, you don't appoint Danish coaches for Switzerland or for Sweden. But now let's see if Potter Magic can take them to the World Cup. What do you say?
Potter Magic. I mean, look, they have one of the finest teams. Look at the roster. It's Gyökeres, it's Alexander Isak, and there's so Goodmanson from Leeds. There's many more. I think that are missing out.
There's Victor Lindelof.
Victor
There's
Lindelof. He's a
yeah,
starting center back in that team, and
yes.
there's I don't think they have any excuses. I mean, Gyökeres is a very good striker from Sporting who came into Arsenal and has blended into the team nicely over the last couple of weeks in the Premier League. But for Isak, who broke the British transfer record and I think got jinxed by a certain club fans for him to not perform. I mean, Newcastle just gave him the stink eye over and over again. And when he did that, when
No,
he did
no.
all that drama.
I think it's all about the fitness, right? So if you don't have a
Mm,
proper preseason, it takes you at least you fall 6 months behind. By November, December, you get the fitness back and you're up to speed. But also they have Ayari and Bergvall in the middle, so it's not a bad team for Sweden. But
hmm.
yeah, Isak's fitness, and I think Gyökeres is also. We can talk about this, right? He looks a little overweight. I might be stirring the pot here a little bit, but I think he
Oh,
doesn't
that's
look like the
Moshla stuff.
Gyökeres.
That's Moshla
Yeah, he
stuff.
doesn't. Arsenal fans will not like it, but hey, it's not like it's coming from a Manchester United person trying to like make Gyökeres look bad. It's not that at all. I think he doesn't look fully fit. He needs a proper preseason as well, or he needs to come up to speed. They both look unfit. Certain things that they usually can do, they're not doing it. So these little things matters as a striker or as a footballer. So yeah,
Definitely.
Sweden is they lost to Kosovo. Oh, they have Anthony Langa. They lost to Kosovo.
Yeah, Kosovo are
Uh,
ranked 91 in the world.
at
91.
home they lost. Yeah,
Yeah,
at home they
it
lost
was
to Kosovo.
unbelievable. I mean, I didn't see the game, but I got the score update and I saw the team they were playing against. I was expecting a bigger team. It was Kosovo. Kosovo are, I don't think they've ever qualified for the World Cup, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, they're a war torn country, as far as I know, if my history is correct. And for them to struggle like that, props to Kosovo for what they did.
Correct, and they lost to what do you call that? Switzerland
Who are a
before
better
that.
team?
So
That I'll take that
yeah,
any day. But for them to just not do anything, like both were scoreless from the Sweden standpoint. They didn't score in any of those games. So that was a terrible
yeah.
international campaign for those 10 days.
They also have Rooney Bargi from the Barcelona attacking right winger that they
Oh,
signed. So yeah, so Sweden has talent. They just need to function as a team, and they didn't. So That's sad. They might miss out on the World Cup altogether,
It's
unless you're
weird. I would like to see
Gareth
what
Potter.
Zlatan has to say.
Well, he has a lot of opinion, but his opinion will come out after they qualify for the World Cup, not before that. When things go wrong, he doesn't say much.
Look, Potter has an
Zlatan.
advantage. Potter is familiar with most of the players in the Swedish team, so he can tweak because he has been part of the Premier League. So I think he might be able to. I'm giving it, take it with a grain of salt. He might be able to do something, and if they end up winning the last couple of games, Sweden are in with a sniff.
Yeah. All right. So that's
Time to
the
shift gears.
international. Yeah, that's the international run. Do you have any other international roundup talk?
No, just I mean, there's a lot that happened. I mean, the AFC qualifiers, Bangladesh, Hong Kong, Portugal, Argentina, Brazil did not have a good week. So
what happened with Brazil and Japan? What happened there?
I know
Brazil.
that I know my Brazil. I all I know is that they were terrible. I didn't check actually how badly they lost. That's
I think
what
they were
social
2-0
media.
up. They lost 3-2 to Japan.
That's
But it was a friendly, so
it was a friendly, yeah.
And then he played some players from the Brazilian league, so most of them were not even first team players.
Got you. I think Estevao had a great game against South Korea.
He did. So now shifting gears from international to club football. There's been a lot of talk about Manchester United being up for sale. So are they up for sale? Yeah. So I don't know if our viewers have listened to us this far. If they have or watched us, I'm gonna try to explain this. So this Saudi person called Turki Al Sheikh, he does this boxing promotion for Saudi. Basically, he's the right hand of the Saudi prince when it comes to.
What do you mean right hand of the Saudi prince? How can a Saudi guy called Turkey the same as being a Turkish guy called Saudi?
That is a different topic for another podcast. How is Turkish Al Sheikh? So
this is weird. I promise you guys, we'll do a weird pod very soon for you. But yes, please,
we might just bring him in. If I bring him into the podcast, I'll ask him, how is your name Turkish when you were born in Saudi, right? Saudi Arabia. I can ask him that question, and the internet can actually come after me for that, or the internet can actually verify how a Saudi person is a Turkish with a Turkish name. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is he actually tweeted that Manchester United are in talks with someone, a new investor, and he hopes as a Manchester United fan that this investor turns out to be better than what the current setup is, basically Ineos and Glazers. So he's saying that the Glazers are in talk with prospective buyers, and this is a very funny timing because right after Jim Ratcliffe did that interview that he wants to give Ruben Amorim 3 years, right after that, I think a day later, this tweet was posted by Turki Al Sheikh. And then the internet went into meltdown. The Manchester United fan base went into meltdown. They think that it was the Saudi money, he's buying it. Then he puts out another tweet and saying that I am not buying it. My country is not buying it. It's somebody that in the investment area that we know is interested. It's UAE, apparently, who are interested. United Arab Emirates. And after a lot of back and forth, a lot of digging, the journalist, the Ben Jacobs of the world, the Alex Krulls of the world. No, Indy Kalia is the KFC employee, but Indy Kalia, bro, that guy got his due with thanks to David Ornstein. David Ornstein. Yeah. After that, Indy Kalia is just milking X to get the money, basically. And his tweets are like weird as hell. Like, oh, at 2 p.m. today, Isaac had a meeting with somebody and he's very happy about it and this and that. And then his tweet was like, Ruben Amorim was called into a meeting today to change his formation by blah, blah, blah. And none of these were reported by reputed journalists, right? So
it's almost like a paparazzi. No, not for like that. A paparazzi with the keyboard.
Yeah, he knows everything inside whatever meeting that going on. In the bedroom, he knows all the details. nothing to do with Indicalia. I have no affiliation with that account. Sometimes take whatever that account posts with a grain of salt. So now we're talking about Turkey Al Sheikh, and then he says that UAE is interested. Ben Jacobs and all the other journalists do the digging, and that's when it comes out that the United Arab Emirates are talking to the Glazer family, and they're trying to get a consortium going, which might be led by Eric Cantona and some other former players.
What?
And they want to
Cantona.
buy. Yes, I listen. At this point, I will not be even surprised if the name of Ronaldo comes into that picture. Like Ronaldo is part of it, and then he's spearheading that, and he retires, and he takes over Manchester United. That's
Oh my
gonna
goodness.
make Fardan cry,
Yeah,
and
it
he's
will.
gonna cry like a baby. Yeah, so that's a fairy tale ending for Ronaldo. But apparently, Ronaldo can buy Manchester United. He just needs 4 more billions. He's 1 billion in his net worth is 1 billion.
Yes.
Manchester United are valued at 5 billion. So how about he gets another 4 billion? He's fine to buy Manchester United. So a couple of things from this. The reason we didn't talk about it during this week, we didn't do a short or anything, because this news was very much not concrete. It was just going back and forth. What my understanding is this, that it is something that is not fully official. I don't think the Ineos or at Radcliffe were aware of it. So they got blindsided by it. And I think the Glazers are talking with some of the Middle East investors, especially from the UAE, but it's not formal, or it's not to that level that it has made the stock price shift for Manchester United. The share price and the stock exchange for Manchester United it didn't make any moves that much. So if there was something concrete, they need to notify the stock exchange, and that's how everyone knows, right? So I do think Manchester United will be sold. The Glazers will not stay there, and Ineos just will either Ineos buys it out for 5 billion, or they just hold the bag and looks like fools with their 28%, 27.7% stake. But I think Middle East will come take over Manchester United, and don't be surprised with that connection after the World Cup, because there's been talk about Bruno leaving for the Middle East, but it might not happen. Middle East might come over and take over Manchester United. That way, the money might stay here, and do not forget the Ronaldo factor.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's a lot. Because in Turkey, if Turkey is talking, Turkey Al Sheikh is talking about this, I don't think he's just gonna just do it for the sake of it. So there's some smoke to the fire. So it's gonna happen, but we just don't know when it's gonna happen. And I will not be surprised if the Glazers are talking behind the Ineos's back.
That's fine. I mean, we've
So
had enough Qatari and Saudi owners in the Premier League. So I'm actually born in the UAE, so I'm going to be very happy for someone from UAE to pick it up, especially my favorite club.
do you have $5 billion, Fardan, to buy it? You're from the UAE. You can just make some few calls and get the investors to buy Manchester United.
I'm gonna
All
get
we
on
need
it
is $5
right.
billion.
That's it. Yeah, it's not like it's better than 6 billion, right?
Yeah, definitely better than 6 billion. I think even if you put in 4.5 billion offer and just do a seller financing and just do like, say, listen, we're gonna pay you off after 500 years later.
Yeah,
That's
500
fine.
years
I
of
think
summer.
the Glazers will take it as long as you clear. Yeah, you just clear their debts. Glazers will be happy to hand over the club, get the profit. 4 billion, 4.5 billion will get the deal done. So get it together for that. Now, before
Okay.
we bore any one of you more, Fardan is getting, I think he's getting the fever now after
No, because
thinking
of
about Manchester
the
being up
excitement
for
of
sale.
UAE coming into the Premier League. I think that's what made me really excited.
All right, so now moving on to Manchester. Keep staying with Manchester United, but moving on to some January signings for Manchester
Potential.
United. There have been talk about Adam potential signings. There's been talk about Adam Wharton leaving in January for £60 million. It's not true, but that's what the media was talking about.
From
He wants to play Champions League football next season from Crystal Palace. Yeah. So, do you think that Manchester United should go for, let's say, next summer or in January, they should go for Baleba or Wharton?
now, if you guys
Or
have
maybe
been
they should
for
do a stopgap. They should do a stopgap and go for Ruben Neves.
oh, that's the name that we haven't talked about at all. Ruben Neves has
Mhm.
formerly played in the Premier League and before going off to Saudi.
Yes.
So and I think because of the Portuguese connection, Amorim will favor him, and he's a Premier League proven player. He has scored just this past week in the qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers as well. He's a man in not so bad form, and I think his fitness is good as well. But in terms of intensity, tenacity, and what we always talk about, and what we have talked about in this channel, if you have been following us, is Baleba is far better than any of them, in my eyes. Wharton definitely is a growing player. He will grow with the club, and if he is thinking of playing Champions League football, maybe not come to United. That's what I think. But for Carlos Baleba, I think that I would fancy him to come over. Ruben Neves also, I would not say like, hey, stay away from United. I would love for him to be part of the club, but not Wharton. I think if I have to rank them, Baleba, Neves, and Wharton will be number three in terms of preference.
You still want to take Baleba with the start of to the season that he has? Like he's not. Uh, he didn't start well. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I know.
You still
That's
gonna? You
fine.
still fancy Baleba?
Still fancy Baleba. I believe.
Yeah.
I believe. I believe in Baleba. I believe in Baleba.
You're a believer. You're a
I'm a
believer
believer.
or a believer?
I'm a believer.
All right, Adam Wharton. Only thing I like about Adam Wharton, I think he's well, not the stamina, but he loves to pass forward. Right.
Yes,
That's something that I think we have missed from Manchester United for a long time. And
yeah,
not a lot of midfielders loves to pass forward. He loves to pass forward. He wants to do the through pass or the long pass. So he wants to split the defense with his passes. So that's
absolutely.
another thing. But Ruben Neves, Premier League proven, played with Wolves, international experience, not a bad one. And I think Manchester United can actually look at him. And that's my take on it. All right. I think we are done with this podcast. We came to the end. We'll see how Manchester United get hammered over the weekend, and then we'll revisit this next week.
Definitely, we'll
Any
come back
last
to it.
thoughts, Fardan?
Last thoughts is good luck to Manchester United. I think there. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of people on Twitter are like, oh, United will upset Liverpool and all that. Liverpool are an off form team, but at Anfield, I don't fancy United. I mean, yeah, we have done better with different coaches. After Amorim, I just don't see them because under Amorim, we have not ever done that good against one of the big clubs in the Premier League. So no.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gents. Please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Take care, guys.